The DJ Roundtable Show is live. It's the DJ Roundtable Show. Tell another DJ about the show. Please subscribe.
It is 8 o'clock. It is Tuesday night, as always. I know where I'm at. I'm here with you. Yes, it is another DJ Roundtable. And as always, I'm glad to see that you're here enjoying it. If you're over here on Twitch, make sure you follow the channel. We always got stuff going on, always have happy, fun things. Also, what's going on, Iron Man? What's going on, Jim? Also, want to thank you all for watching. Want to thank you guys all for tuning in, too. If you're tuning in over on the tubes, do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button, the thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe, hit the bell icon, share it with another DJ like the song says, and also put some comments down below. Tell us how we're doing, what you think about the show, what you want to hear. Do you want to talk about something? Do you want us to talk about something? Add your voice to the realm. Add your voice to the table. There's a seat there. You can go up there and sit. This is all done for free. This is all done by all DJs giving their information. We have a couple things going on here. First thing first, we have my man next to me, Dwayne, the Hitman Dixon. He is over there. He has his show on Thursday nights and Cue It Up with his main man, Mad Mike, DJ Mikey Mike, who will tell you good stories. He's my man. Well, I don't know what that is, Mike. I think Mike makes keyed something. But Mike is in the chat down there. That is Dwayne's partner, and he always has some great stories. If you're over there on Thursday nights, go over there and check them out. Make sure also, if you get a chance to, if you can, watch two things at once on Thursday nights, or check it out and repeat. Make sure that you check out Start to Spin. They're also there on Thursday nights as well. They have some really great stuff, and I try to watch both going at the same time. Very difficult to do, but I'm in both chats, so guys are in either show. You'll see me chatting each one, and I go back and forth. It's very hard to do, but with my setup with multiple screens, it's easy, somewhat. It's easy for me to talk about a few friends here and a few DJs. I got Chris over here in New York, who not only is a DJ, but also has the beautiful mini golf. We're going to talk a little bit about that kind of stuff. It's always fun. Then I have two other DJs here who are having gear to sell. First thing first, I'm going to do Audio Visual Theta. That is from Joe. If you want to step up your game, you want to have that cool look as ceremony, you want to have a cool look when you're doing karaoke or something else, check it out. Great unit to have. Give yourself a beautiful, wonderful setup that's easy to deal with. If you want ease, it's easy. Just run some cables, the right preset, plug it in. He has a lot of things to go with it. He has some options. Reach out to Joel, talk to him. His Facebook link is going to be down below. It's for Lara last week. Reach out to him on Facebook, message him, talk to him. If you don't have Facebook, he has his information there. He's more than glad to talk to you about that. The Audio Visual Theta is great. Cool thing. It's just a cool thing. The other person here who is my partner in crime, who I talk to quite a bit, and also always sends me lovely memes. Sean from Wisconsin, but now he's down in Georgia. DJ Night Owl, or also the lovely Photo Booth Club. So if you got photo booth stuff, and if you want to do photo booth, he has a special deal. This is for Prime Days, so this is only for next, 3 days? 4 days?
3 days.
3 days.
4 days.
So if you can afford it, $13.95 Prime deal from him for the beta photo booth. That right there, he has a couple that came in. He has a couple in stock. He is shipping from Georgia. And also, he is just tearing it up there with the photo booth. I'm hoping to get one soon. I'm trying to get the boss to okay it, uh, and also have a tablet because I'm not an Apple person. I'm an Android person, and I have a couple options for Android tablets, and there is software for Android. So you Android fans like myself, you can do a photo booth as well. I already worked with Sean with it. The Samsung 9E tablet, he can get a face for it. That's what I'm going to go with. They're out there. They're a little less expensive than the 10E. They have a 12 megapixel facing camera. Um, they have refurbished ones. You can find them fairly easy. That's what I'm going to go with. But if you're going to do something, if you want to say Android, that's probably the one to go with, and that's the one I'm going to go with. Mike says go iPad. Never. No. No.
We can do Windows based too. We can put a Surface in there if you want.
There you go.
We don't discriminate.
No, Windows is good too. Windows. Speaking of Apple, I still have. Yes. Here you go, Mike. Here's some Apple product here. This is Apple product right here. This is Tracy's little iPod. There you go. There it goes back in the drawer right here because it's a cool retro tech. Yeah, she has an iPod that she hadn't touched in many moons. But with that said, I
You know what a
am
shuffle is?
Fred said trader. She's not a trader. We got again, that's old. That's what, 15 years or more old. That's old. I have to look up how old that thing is. But yes, if you're looking for stuff, Windows, Apple, or Android, all three he can do. Make sure you get in touch with him. His link's down below. And also want to make sure that you guys out there, again, I see the chat over here chatting away and talking. Make sure you guys are enjoying yourselves. And again, if you guys got questions in the chat, please, I want to hear, what you guys think and stuff and what you guys are doing out there. As always, I appreciate everyone here. Again, we do this for free, and this is a fun time for us to get together and talk and chat and kind of, swap ideas. So, want to ask you guys this question here and this scenario. Lighting. We all do different kind of lightings and stuff like that, and we have different thoughts on lighting and so forth. Lighting is very important. It can give a mood, it can give a feel, it can do a lot of things. And you guys know that I do uplighting and I do Astera tubes, and they project a lot of light because they're in film and television. They do a lot of unique things. So the question is for lighting and stuff like that, when you do stuff, do you have different lighting packages? Do you have just one lighting package you do? Or do you have multiple packages, multiple tools? Now, I do have a gig bar. I use it for one venue because I can't do uplighting there. I can't do Astera sticks because way it's set up and stuff like that. So I do have a gig bar for that one venue. Gig bars are a tool in a toolbox. I will not talk bad about a gig bar. Is there better solutions? Sure, but I have a gig bar move. Nice, basic DMX. Good, solid light. What do you feel is a good all-around light? And a good all-around light to have, and a good budget light. If you had to go buy a light today, and you're looking for a good budget light, what would you buy for a budget light? And what's a good all-around light that you feel every DJ should have in their inventory?
Would you mind if I go first on this
Go
one?
ahead, Chris.
I appreciate that. So the first light I went for budget just to add some type of movement on the floor. I went with a Chauvet line dancer. Definitely an LED. It just creates a couple dots in lines and they cross with each other and it looks pretty good. You can DMX it. You can either do sound mode or it has a couple free program already in there. And it's very basic. It's maybe cost you $100, $150, maybe a little bit more around maybe 180 max. But for a budget light that I've done a couple different gigs with, it just adds some movement and some color on the floor, on people as well. Otherwise, a nice background light to have to light up the whole area is Chauvet Wash Effects 2s, or if you got the new both lighting spiders, I hear are incredible. I definitely want to get a couple of those for how bright the UV and the other lights are for outdoor events for battery. I mean, that's going to be huge. I can't wait to jump into that, even though I missed it at the DJX, but I was so tempted and stuff. Spent a little bit more than I wanted to out there at other things, but it kind of blew that budget away. Oof. But definitely will hit that up for the holiday season. Some extra gigs coming in, and the mini golf is doing well with it. So hopefully I'll get a UV glow, and I'll have some battery operated, the washes from both lighting that they got.
The wash from both lighting, I wanted to touch on this because I'm glad you did. It's battery operated, It is DMXable. You can get from Both Lighting USA, or Sean has an affiliate with Both Lighting. If you get a hold of Sean, he can send you the link for that light, and he can get the light shipped to you. I feel less than what Both Lighting USA will cover it for. Now the warranty then is from both in China.
It's so.
Yeah, it's around. But if you didn't want to go through Both Lighting USA and Rick will do warranty stuff. He will take it back. He will repair stuff. That's the one nice thing for the difference in price. Rick will repair it. And I talked to a guy, I can't remember his name now. I talked to a guy last week when I was looking for some moving heads, which you can kind of see the corner down there, which I'm going to talk about, which Jim just said the brand. I got a couple moving heads and just did a unboxing today on them. You can very easily get stuff from him. The only bad thing, I was looking at the light, and the timing wasn't going to be guaranteed for this coming weekend, and I wanted it for this weekend for the weddings I have. So if it wasn't for the timing, it wasn't. I guess I jumped onto the bandwagon a little too late, but I wanted something to be more of a smaller light, not as big as my Chauvet 360s. And I wanted a black light, and I want something bigger than my U-Kings, which I still use every so often, which I do like. Excuse me. Allergies here. I'm hoping for another week or two. I know who loves Beat Topper, and that's actually DJ Fire. He loves Beat Topper. We'll talk to him in a little bit for some lights. No, he does not like Beat Topper. No, he does not like Beat Topper. Okay. But he has a couple other ones. I know he has some really good budget pricing for lighting. I'm going to go really quickly because I want to talk about this. Again, I have the two extremes. I have the expensive pixel tubes from Astera. They're $500 each tube. I just picked up 2 more tubes. So I have 8 tubes now. And I used this past wedding. I had 6 tubes total out. I did a picture on my social media, my personal media with 4. We had 2 more ones. We had to wait till after dinner because we needed to move the table back and put 2 more tubes where I want to put the tubes at. And it lit up the floor tremendously. And I know I saw Mike said tubes hit eyes. Not Asteras. Asteras are more of a softer, wider cast because, again, they're designed for film and movies and television. So they do light a little differently. Some of the inexpensive tubes, they can do that. Or if you go to more basic, like I have these tubes right here, the Amazon tubes, there were 2 of them for like $90. These are eye candy versus the Asteras put light. So if you're going to go one end, you got the Ape Labs, the Asteras, but I also do Rockville, which again, I know Jim was talking about Rockville. The Rockville Rock Wedges, I love those lights. And with the wireless DMX makes nice. The one thing is with the Rockville moving heads I got, and Sean and I were talking about this, and I think Dwayne was there too, those Rockville units have wireless DMX. So they'll talk to each other. So you can make one use your control light, and the rest of them will follow the control light. So you can do add as many you want to, as long as they can see the signal to that control light. So that's a cool thing I wanted to do is wireless DMX, which I have for my other rock fill, my rock wedges, and then I have the wide, I call wall washes. There's 6 lights in a row. They have a big white unit, which I'll be using this coming weekend. Those lights right there are just fantastic for lighting up a whole entire wall, and they throw a lot of light and very wide. And usually I have those as my control lights. Now, I do have Chauvet uplights. I do have the H1s, which are the little cubes, and I do have PARs, but the batteries on them don't hold charges anymore. They're 8 years old, and you can't get batteries from them anymore because they're older model. The other thing also is that I do also have the Flarecon system where I can have either DMX software. But Astera, I love the DMX software. It's so easy to deal with and so easy to program. It's not even funny. So there's some lighting there, some ideas. Dwayne, I'm going to go to you next for lighting. What do you have? What is your go-to light? And then do you have a bargain light? Do you have a beginner light, a light that, it's a lower price light that you would recommend to someone?
I do have different prices. Basically, like a simple dance floor light price, and I do sell uplighting as an add-on. And then my go-to light would be my Wash Effects by Chauvet, because it's like an all-in-one thing. You can wash the room, and also throws out enough light to, add some excitement on the dance floor. So, but as far as cheap lights, I guess right now, if it's battery operated, I would say my JMass glow tubes. But those are more, just like what you were saying, those are more so eye candy kind of things. But it doesn't throw out like a wash. But for those that want just simple something on the dance floor or put around the room to blink, those would be good. And they come in a pack of 6, I believe, with a carrying case.
So would you say that JMass, their tubes, would you say that it has improved your look of your setup? Do you feel that gives you more of a modern look, or do you feel that it's just something there to help people, kind of identify this as the dance floor? Do you feel that it helps you with a nice look to what your setup is?
It adds to it. I would say, yeah. I say it would add to it. If you can't afford the more expensive ones, I would say go with those, because those are more of a budget friendly, but not cheap knockoff ones, because you can get some cheaper ones.
Well, yeah.
Only drawback is you can't. Yeah, only drawback
are you
is
talking about the Galaxy tubes from JMass, right?
no, because yeah, no, it's the ones they just the DMX ones that's more expensive, and the other
The
ones
non-DMX.
is yeah,
Correct.
the other ones is you operate with
A remote?
a remote.
Right.
Mhm.
I have a set of those. I think I got mine a set of 8 when I won them, not this year, but the year before at DJX.
Yep. And they're good for when you're doing like birthday parties where you have kids that want to touch stuff. If something break, you can easily replace
You're not
it.
upset.
But at the same time, they're easy to be broken with the because it's plastic clips on the bottom. But
Yeah, like
you
like
can handle
these, like this unit
But-
here. This is again one of my 90 units. I broke the
Mhm.
base on the other unit, and you can't get replacement parts for it. Again, it's 2 of them for $90. This is again nice eye candy. No remote control. They're not DMXable. You can't connect them. So again, it all boils down to I think the JMAS ones. They talk to each other, correct? They all do the same thing. And when you put them on light, they all go the same colors.
no.
No.
No, it says it's just sound activated.
You can infrared them and tell them, but you have to point that remote and tell each individual one. Or if you could span the whole kit and caboodle with the one infrared controller, yeah, then you can do it that way. They'll do all the same color. But
Yeah,
it's hit or
oh
miss
yeah,
with
they'll
the
do
infrared ones.
the same. They do the same static color, but if you do like a the auto loop or the auto sound, they won't be in sync with each other. Like my
Correct.
RF4s or mini halos from Rockville, where you can set one to be the master and the other one to be the slaves, and they all will do their thing, or program them where you can do chases. It's a program where they all talk, and
Do you,
do that.
Dwayne, do you run a DMX software or any kind of DMX program like a Wolfmix or
No, I'm sound switching,
SoundSwitch?
and I'm in the process of trying to program my lights for Saturday. I'm gonna try to do something. I'm gonna try to be fancy with mine. Said because I've been watching you all's videos, and set the mood for each part of the night. Like for have a certain color for cocktail and dinner. Then first dances have a certain vibe, and then with this couple, they're one of the younger couples. And a lot of their songs came out of like early 2010s, like when Soldier Boy and all of them came out. There was the year where every song was a dance song, like Chicken Noodle Soup and all that kind of stuff. So I want to also make sure once we get into open dancing that
Play
it kind of like fits that vibe.
play Let It Go. Let It Go came out over 10 years ago, and those kids are now the adults getting married and stuff like that, and they're at the weddings, and you'd be amazed how many people, because I think of Let It Go, I think of a great movie for my granddaughter who's going to turn 10 in December. Well,
Broccoli.
yeah, she is turning 10 in December. So it's like, wow, yeah, she's known her all her life, that movie, but there's a lot of people who are now adults that love it and they'll sit out there and sing it and they'll dance and stuff like it's amazing. And Tracy's like, don't do Let It Go. I'm like, yeah, because again, these people, she's like, it's for little kids. I'm like, no, these kids are adults now. And we were talking last night, Shut Up and Dance With Me. I still hit the dance floor with that. It's still a crowd pleaser, and that's 10 years old as well.
Hmm.
So it's a lot of these things I look at and go, wow, these people are enjoying these songs. This is, again, we keep moving up in the chain in time, but, Shut Up and Dance With Me, people still love it. Just like, people who love September too, which is, from the 70s. But it's a great thing. I would definitely say in your mix and stuff like that, a little bit later on, play Let It Go, because you'll get some people screaming and crying and singing to that. Uh, and those light sticks is again, it's eye candy, those basic light sticks, but again, it adds such a nice look to your setup, and it gives that feel to it, and it gives you that more impact. And I know, like when I do the lighting, I think Nathan does a lot of DMXing. I go through at least 3 color changes a night. So I have the one main color I program. Then I do one color for a cocktail and stuff like that, or I have the lights off. Then I get into dinner, I do that color. And then when the dances come on, I go to more of a neutral color to add lighting for the photography. And then go into the dance lighting later on. So, and I give it different areas, different things. So it makes a different feel on the night. So if you're going to do that and program, that is really, really cool to do. And you want a couple programs. Speaking of a person who programs and loves programs and has that special, remember, he's got a heck of a deal. Prime Days, 3 days for his photo booth, $13.95, $1,400. Don't forget that. He's got that deal going on right there. Sean, do you have different light packages? 1, 2, do you have a go-to light that you love going to? And 3, what is your bargain light? If someone asked you, hey, what is a good light that's to start off with, what's a good light you would actually recommend?
So my favorite light is whichever one the client's paying me for. Um, our basic package, we include no lighting. Um, then we have a basic dance floor lighting, which is literally 4 par 50s wireless DMX on a T-bar. Then from there we go up to like moving heads. Beyond that, I do have lasers, Kintas, all sorts of lights that we can throw out there depending how big they want to go and how much they want to spend. I mean, my go-to, I like just uplighting. Honestly, I think probably 75% of my events, uplighting is all I need. I fully DMX it. Every single fixture is individually programmed to its own DMX channel in SoundSwitch. So I can do some really cool scenes. Go put 24 uplights around a room, each one on its own channel, and you can do some cool patterns, chases, all sorts of stuff. And so I'm saying uplighting's my go-to. And then as far as a cheap light, if I was just getting into things, didn't have any type of lighting whatsoever, I would go the Color Key Go. You're gonna get it for about $350. It has two of their versions of the Kinta on it, and then it has two watches, and it's got a little bit of a strobe effect built into their watch. It's wireless DMX, and it's battery powered. $350, and you have your own little white light show. Hook that up to SoundSwitch, and you can do quite a bit with that.
So one of the things that we talked about before, and I did have used, and the next couple weddings I'm not going to use, but I have them, is from Rockville, the Halos. And we talked about the Chroma Cannons from both lighting, and they're basically essentially very similar lights. They're like brothers and sisters. They're very, very similar. Would you say would that be
the same light?
Shh. Don't tell no one. Would you say that might be a good light package to get if you want to get into some nice back wall uplighting behind you with the six or eight lights? I can't remember. I think it's 8 lights in a case. They have 8 and a 12.
If you have no uplighting whatsoever, I would go to the IR4s first. If you cannot afford the IR4s, you could go ahead and do some Chroma Cannons. Chroma Cannons are not intended to be a full-blown uplight. Chroma Cannons are a cool accent light. You can create awesome patterns with them and make different effects on the wall, the way the light beams are going to cross with each other. You can alternate different colors, and there's a lot you can do with a Chroma Cannon. Chroma Cannons are not going to replace full-blown uplighting. So, I mean, you can get a pack of 12, I think, for what, $569. I'm not in my DJ Now lighting pricing, but I want to say like $569. You can get some Chroma Cannons or some Halos. It's a good start. You can do stuff with them. Narrow your beams. If you're only gonna buy Chroma Cannons and not have another uplight, you need to spin them all the way out so you have as narrow of an angle as possible, and you can do some uplighting with it. Once it gets dark, they're gonna pop great, but while there's still light in the room, they're not powerful enough.
The one nice thing with the Chroma Cannons, and Mike said it here, is that the remote for the Chroma Cannons and the Halo is the same remote. They'll work for each other. The Chroma Cannons, I think Mike is saying 8 of them for $569. Again, I get the Rockville, I got the Halos, and I think it's a 12-pack I got. It's a hard case, and there's a bunch of lights in there. And I want to say it's a 12-pack, 3 rows of 4. And the wireless remote control works pretty decent. It's not the farthest reaching controller because it's 2.4 gigahertz, but it works pretty well.
But they communicate.
Yeah, they don't talk to each other. It's basically they're all on the same.
You can master and slave them.
Yes, you can master and slave.
If you master and slave throughout your room, it'll shoot your signal all the way down. It does delay a little bit that way, but it does work.
There's a lot of things you can do with it. I love the remote control on it because it gives so much versatility on that little remote control for us doing colors. Has little color wheels on there and stuff, and you can hit the button like 3 or 4 times and go 3 or 4 different colors off those little lights. And they're very compact. The case is very small. I use those lights downtown Chicago to light the planters on the end of a staircase at the Rookery building downtown Chicago. And again, they're not the most powerful light in the world, but 3 of them lighting up the planter gave a nice look to it. They added their candles there, and people thought it was a candlelight until they started flashing for dance lighting. And that was a little bit later on when the dance floor opened up. But I changed that over and they started flashing that dance lighting. And the couple was like, I couldn't believe you hid lights in places. And all of a sudden we saw these lights just come out anywhere and start changing color and just gave a mood totally different. And that to me is one of the things I was saying before, having, a couple different colors, a couple different ways. I had one color most of the night, kind of a amberish with a little bit of red to it to complement the gold. And then I got into the dance lighting later on. It's always fun to do that, and it just gives you a nice smile when you're because you sit back, you're like, wow, that's cool. I did something really cool. And I know someone who does a lot of cool stuff too, and that is Joe. Of course, he has some pictures up of his uplighting, and he does some cool, very cool stuff. I have a gobo this weekend on Saturday, so I have my projection gobo. I'm going to project across the way above the couple and their head table. So I'm going to do that. We're going to work on that on Saturday. And then Sunday, no gobo, unfortunately, but we have a little different lighting for then. So question for you. Do you have different lighting packages? That's first thing. Second thing is that what is your favorite go-to light? What is your light that you're like, I love using this light? And do you have a nice, good bargain light that you can say, hey, if you're looking for a light, buy one or two of these to start off with?
So I think my favorite one is the American DJ. It's the BSW, I believe 300. It's a pretty powerful light. It's 300 luminous, heavy light, and basically the way they call it a BSW is because it's a beam. What is it? Beam, steering, gobo. So it does all three things. What I would recommend for a newbie, somebody that doesn't want to spend a lot of money, I would go with the COBs or the wash lighting. The thing that a lot of DJs don't do is they light up the front where they're at, the dance floor, but they forget to light up the rear or the sides. So I like to basically light the dance floor from all directions, four corners. You can kind of do that from up lights, but it's not gonna, if it's a fairly large room, it's not gonna beam over into the background. So I would probably recommend for a newbie getting maybe the IR4s, putting them on a pole, and basically you can control them, I think, off your phone. Next thing I would probably recommend is, let me show you this picture. You can get these guys, they're little wash lights, and you can basically put those on top of the speakers or somewhere, and these definitely need a controller. I use the ADJ Airstream. I don't like having lights, spots all over the place. I don't like lights going all over without being controlled. When you have a light going this way and that way and crossing your face and crossing somebody's face or the table, blinding people, to me, that's a no-no. Lasers, the same thing. You want to basically point those up in the air. Lighting packages, I have everything from the basic to the, how would I say, most complex with moving heads, light bars. I do like to take the tubes, but I have 8 of them, but I have 2 of them broken. So I really don't like to put them out in the audience because you'll have kids playing with them. They'll grab them and start using them as sabers, or adults will get drunk. And if you have a $500 tube and somebody grabs it and starts, they think they're from Star Wars, you kind of get like, should you be doing that?
The one thing is, the one nice thing with the Asteris, which I have 2 in for service right now for repair, you can get them repaired. The second thing, if it is someone who grabbed it and did that and smacked one of my lights, I would actually talk to the couple, or I'd talk to that person like, hey, you owe me some money. That's not a toy.
Yeah, I try to avoid all that, buddy, because again, anytime you get the client involved, it's kind of like, okay, now you got them involved. Now you can't ask them for a review, a 5-star review, because now they basically are going to say, you made me pay for something, blah, 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 blah.
This equipment isn't
But
cheap, but still.
yeah,
I know.
but the thing you got always got to look at
I try
accidents
to
happen.
avoid, I try to avoid having any lighting where people are going to break it. I mean, up lights, you put them against the walls, somebody's going to grab it or whatever, whatever. But for the most part, any type of tubes, I'm very hesitant to put them on out there. Now, I did see one person do something very unique with the tubes, and what they did is the ceiling wasn't that high, but they put magnets underneath the tubes, and they had them hanging over the dance floor. And I
That
thought,
was
cool. I thought that was
Rick
really
Webb
cool.
had done that for Atlantic City, showed demos of that already.
I thought that was cool.
Yeah,
This light came out
the
right
light
here,
you
the
have
structural light.
behind you. I know I see those
You
are
see
very
this one?
popular in Europe.
They're starting to come on this side. So basically, you can get these for what? 179, is that right? Let me get out of the way.
194 39. So it's
So-
$195, you can say, plus tax.
Yeah,
DJ
So-
Break
nice
uses
effect.
those.
Those would be a nice effect, to have if you're just going to have one light. But again, for me, it's different packages, and it just depends on the client, how extravagant they want. If they want architectural lighting, I can provide that. If they just want something basic, I can do that. If they just want uplights, I try to sell not per unit. I try to sell by the effect. So if somebody says, well, how much you gonna charge for, each light, 12 uplights? I don't do that. I charge for the effect. Because everything has to have a place in the room. If you just put them randomly anywhere, you're not really doing.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't know.
that's one of the things also. When I do uplighting, I always say architectural lighting because you want to highlight things, have your eyes go to things. Just putting lights across the wall, just putting lights across the wall. What does that wall do? Now, again, you can do it like you have their intelligent lighting. That's architectural lighting. You're highlighting the area, you're adding ambience. Just putting lights across a wall doesn't anything like that. Again, that's architectural lighting because you're adding something, you're adding an influence there versus just, hey,
Mhm.
I'm going to light this whole wall up, everything's purple or everything's blue or everything's pink or whatever the color is. And that to me is the smarter way of doing it. And when we talk about my website, it says architectural uplighting. It doesn't talk about, hey, just uplighting and you get 20 lights for this. I don't never say how many because one room may only need 5 or 6 lights that really call attention to something. Other rooms may need 10 or 15 lights. But when I see DJs they write in their contract, oh, you get 20 uplights. WEMS, you don't need 20 uplights. Oh, and someone goes around counting. Hey, I see 18 uplights. You owe me back money for 2 uplights. That right there is not the way you want to do.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
No, you don't want to do that. And then
It's very important.
the other thing also, I'm reading some stuff here. I want to get through this a little bit. The Mikey Mike says he's got a contract that if someone damages the lights, the bride and groom will pay to replace it. I have my contract as well, but also I would also talk to the person. New Picard. Oh, Kevin, welcome back. Personally, he avoids anything with a strobe. There's too many people out there that can have reaction to that. Yes, that's one of the things. Talking to your bride and groom is very important, and avoiding a strobe, for the most part, that's not a bad thing. That's actually really good. And let's see here. Big DJ, he says 99% of his lights are Chauvet. Cool. Again, I like Chauvet. Chauvet's great stuff. Just Chauvet hasn't come out with anything really big for a bit, other than the gig
There's
bars.
nothing popping out there. That...
Yeah, they're not really doing much. Their market has changed. They are aiming more for the churches and schools than they are running for the DJs. So that's the other thing I look at. I DJ now. Oh, you put it up there for the for lighting up there. Okay. Let's see here. Big DJ Sir said B Topper. That's probably his go-to for the cheaper ones.
But
Let's see here. I'm trying to go through. Adrian, well, we're talking about lighting here. We're talking about to do some lighting. So I guess you got to catch up over on the tubes then when it goes live next week. So, Joe, really quickly before I go over to Nathan, there is when you talk to someone about lighting or anything like that, when you do stuff and you go through, you show them the pictures and everything. Do they ever ask, what kind of lights you use or what brand you use or anything like that? Or do they see the light and they understand, hey, this is very beautiful?
Yeah, they don't know what kind of lights. I basically tell them that our lighting is very expensive. We're very articulate, in where we place the lights. It's very important that, and I kind of show them a picture of a room with no lighting whatsoever, and then a picture with lighting, and that just triggers, oh my God. And if you have a picture of the venue where they're having their event, that's a plus because that's a big sales tool right there. You kind of want to have a before and after, when you want to sell, the bride and grooms, the bride is more particular about the way things look. The groom doesn't really care as long as they party, whatever. Most of them, I can't say all of them, but it's very important that basically you convey that information to them and you let them know, and then they ask you for the price, how much it's going to cost. And I kind of break it down and I give them choices, because I have different tiers. How elaborate do you want it to be? And oh, by the way, we don't just light up the front, we light up the behind. So when people are dancing and you're doing your first dance, your audience isn't looking at you in the dark. In the front, everybody can see because you got spotlights, right? Or wash lights lighting them up in the front. But what about the back? What about the sides? So you kind of want to let them know that it's more than just you're providing
I
lights.
think when you're doing intelligent lighting, you're doing lighting. Shay just did the one. He just showed a video gig log of when he did some wash effects further back, kind of showcasing the where the head table's at and above. And the reason why I say about sometimes brands and stuff like that, some people do understand brands. Usually photographers, videographers. When I talk to them about Astera, the couple care about the lights, and I think the better quality lights in certain areas. They do give a good look. When you go to a Rockville versus a Ape Lab, the Ape Lab's going to outperform the Rockville because it's going to be a truer color. Software is different. They're going to have a little higher quality LEDs. Does a Rockville do a good job? Yes. Do the Chroma cans do a good job? Yes. Do those lights do a good basic job? Yes. Are there better lights out there? Most definitely. And that's the thing you got to look at. What do you want? True to color, how easy is to deal with? What's the programming like? And so forth. And, I never talk about brands to people on the lighting or the sound equipment. I show them pictures, I show them what we do, and I explain to them how we do things differently and how things look differently. And I feel that's a big selling point when you're talking to a client. How are you different from DJ down the street? DJ down the street does this, does that. How am I different? How am I giving a more elegant feel, more immersive feel to it? And that's the thing you got to look at. I know everyone here, again, that's why Dwayne, talked about his pixel lights. That's eye candy, but it gives an immersive feel to the wedding, to the party, to whatever it is. Sean does the same thing. He does with the uplighting. Again, immersive feeling. Chris does it as well with wash lighting. Immersive feeling. You do it with uplighting and wash lighting. It's immersive feel. People are being brought into it.
One thing I'd like to also point out that I mentioned to the bride is that for an additional $250, we will light up the head table so they're not sitting in the dark. Because a lot of times what happens is you're sitting there, you have all this uplighting, all this beautiful lighting, and they're in the dark. I'll concentrate on their wedding cake. You just spent $2,000 on that beautiful cake. Let me uplight it for you. And oh, by the way, all the drapery that you have, that you spent $3,000 to $4,000, once those lights go up, turn off, you're not going to be able to see them. So our uplights, look, let me show you a picture how we can beautify all your drapery so it'll be so beautiful. And then, what is your color scheme? Because a lot of times what happens is venues offer uplighting, and they go, well, yeah, the venues are going to offer uplighting. Well, can they change the light to whatever you want? So when you're walking into the room, we turn everything white. So your pictures are going to come out pristine. Photographer's going, everyone's happy. Nothing worse than them wanting green or blue, and they're coming in and taking pictures, and there's like, they look like Martians or what do you call that?
Literally
Blue color?
Martians, blue or green Martians. There you go.
So you want to basically sell them on the idea. They're clueless. They don't know what kind of lighting you want, but you will have to explain why and what you're doing. And this is how much it's going to cost, right? And those
Yeah.
pictures are going to look beautiful. Your guests are going to take pictures, and these are memories that you're helping the client create.
And Kevin just said, yes, there's a difference between the two, less expensive and more expensive, but the common man who you're selling your services to, they may not know this, especially unless you are mixing the less expensive and the more expensive at the venue at the same time. Yes and no, but again, if you use things and you explain to them how you can do things differently, and you can explain how you can do the DMX. Again, it's just like someone who, again, depending on the clientele and what they want to do and what you want to do, just walking with a remote control and clicking one button for a light, and it's that color versus having made different zones, different colors, having different moods at different times. Those little things like that shows that you do things differently than, put up a couple par cans onto a stick and say, there's your dance lighting. And again, it depends on what the package is, what the customer pays. I do not want any DJ out there to work for free. The customers that I have that I've charged appropriately for these packages, they're spending the money for the packages. So I'm giving them their value and probably a little bit more, just because the fact that I want to make sure that they're getting every dollar's worth and that I'm doing the right thing by the amount of money they're spending. If someone's spending, $3,000 with me or $4,000 with me, I want to give them that nice, beautiful feeling to it. If they're spending, $1,000 with me, which I'm not that low, but if I spend $1,000 with me, do I do the same thing with lighting? That's why Sean, he has a basic package with no lighting on it, So it all boils down to what you're looking to do, and there's no right or wrong. But is there a difference between the two? If you can explain to a person why you're a little bit more on something because you can do a little bit more, they don't understand it's a better light. They don't understand that. But you can explain to them how it affects their guests and affects them. When I can go to someone and say, the tubes I use are less harsh because they're used in filmed and television, and the lighting is different, the colors are more true, and I have more effects in it, and it's much more than just clicking one button and they go up and down and stuff. They actually project lighting. I wasn't here last week with Dwayne, and we were comparing the lights I have versus another DJ who was on YouTube. I'm not mentioning names, and he has the 360 tubes from both, and there's a huge difference in the light projection on the two of them and how bright and harsh stuff was and how he was doing lighting. And again, different effects, but it's all boils down to the price difference in the actual light. And that light right there is difference how it does. And that's one of the things when you explain to someone, you can't get technical with them, but you can say, I want you to understand that this light's going to give a more pleasant feeling. So there are certain things you can say, but also, again, I want to have good quality. And when I do something, I can do something that other DJs can't do. And that, again, that's what Joe does, what Sean does. That's what Dwayne does. That's what Chris does, especially over there with the golf. He has miniature golf stuff. His miniature golf, Chris, you got RGB LEDs in your golf system, right?
There are RGB, W, and A in the lights there. Yep, in the golf courses. I also do, for me, I actually do a cosmic galactic UV golf as well. So I will add atmosphere lights to UV to I can get clubs that are UV reactive. Same thing with the balls. The obstacles themselves here add a pop, to the atmosphere. I even offer to put in some haze and fog if the inside venue doesn't have smoke detectors. They have heat detectors. I could add that extra element to add. You can see the beams, and even a small laser effect on a wall just adds a pop of stars spinning slowly. Using the effects correctly is key. You want lasers on objects, not on people. So it adds that special effect, to it. And you can see the beams and you can realize this adds a cool atmosphere and
And
experience. And
that's
that's what I'm selling is an
that's one of the things you
experience.
touched on too, is laser beams not hitting people in the eyes, hitting above people's heads. Don't want laser beams hitting people's eyes. I got to
Right.
tell you guys a
Right.
story after the show. Uh, so Nathan, again, you are like one of the light masters here. I know you do DJing and you do the DMX for lighting. First thing first, do you do light packages? Do you have a package? Do you just try and sell that? The second thing is that what is your go-to, your favorite light you like going to? And then what is your bargain price light that you would recommend to someone? A light or a light package or a set, whoever it is. Hey, these two lights or this light right here is this price. Get these lights. This is if you want to start some cool lighting effects and get it into really cool lighting. This is what you need to start off with. What is your light package? What is your favorite light? And then what is your bargain price light that you would recommend?
Favorite light. Um, hmm. Well, y'all were talking about B Topper, and if you take B Topper and Sheds and put them side by side, kind of the exact same lights because they both have almost identical lights. Sheds quality is much better than B Topper. I mean, Sheds just their housings of their lights seem like they're a little better. At least the moving heads that I've done. B Topper sent me some crowd blinders. They were pretty good, I guess. I mean, it's just certain things between the two, but like we got some moving heads a while back when Mike was still around, and I don't know. He liked them, I didn't, so it was just like I'm not a big fan, and some I guess that's everybody. We all have our likes and we all have our dislikes. Um, but do I have lighting packages? Yes. But around here, a lot of the times is, well, like the wedding I've got going on the 25th. I told them my packages, and they told me they had $800 to spend on a DJ. And I said, ouch, that doesn't even cover my basic package. And they're like, well, that's all we can afford. Did I work with them? Yes. So I'm just not taking in the super lot of lighting. I'm going to get a couple wash moving heads that I have, some uplighting, and that's pretty much going to be it.
That's really working with them.
Do what?
That's really working with the client, making him
Yeah.
still have a very special event.
There's a lot of people around here that, I mean, will pay the higher prices, and there's a lot of people that just won't. There's, like me and TJ Bob Bass, which maybe someday I'll get him on the show. He's been busy. I've been busy. But he always says, if you want a $500 DJ, get you a $500 DJ. You're not going to be happy with them. They're more likely going to mess things up, and sometimes I try to tell people that, and, I get it. Their checking account just won't allow them to pay that extra money. And that's what a lot of the schools do around here. They get their $150 or $300 DJs. Like I had a school or a middle school call me here a couple weeks ago wanting to know what I would charge, and I told them $400, and I thought that was pretty reasonable for a
And the kids aren't
3.5 hour
happy.
for a 3.5 hour gig. And they're like, well, we hear you do a really good job at Sullivan. I'm like, yeah, I do. That's why they've got me booked for every event. And they're like, well, we'll have to get back to you. we'll let them know your pricing, and then we'll let you know if we want to move forward. And I was like, okay. So hung up the phone, instantly said to myself, I'll never hear back from them. So she did email me
Well,
back.
you may not. You could probably call them and find out and inquire and find them a
So
way
I-
where they can make the money for the event for the kids to have the
They
better
emailed me.
DJ and the
So this is
experience.
for 7th and 8th graders. It was some sort of just a
Formal.
dance they were having, maybe 6th, 7th, and 8th. I don't know. I don't
Well,
know
that's
why they
important
don't do
time in their life,
fundraisers, but
too.
fundraisers are just not what they used to be. They don't do them a whole lot. People don't have the money to donate. I mean, I had Publishers Clearancing House call me today.
They
Publishers
went bankrupt.
Clearance. Yeah. So I knew it was a fake. And what did I say to him? I was like, hey, he's like, this is such and such a Publishers Clearance House. I said, turns out Publishers Clearinghouses went bankrupt, and you, my friend, what you are doing is illegal, and I hope the feds and the popo find you very soon. And I hung up on him.
They ain't gonna find him. He's calling from overseas. They ain't have no jurisdiction. Good
Oh,
luck.
I know. But I don't know. The new moving head I just got from Sheds is pretty cool. It's a 7x40 big BI, but it's kind of mocked after the little BI. But it's like a medium-sized mover. But it's got, I think that's what I'm going to use, because this is going to be at a Legion, and the ceilings are super, super low. Like,
Ooh.
if I set my totems up on the stage, the top of the totem would hit the ceiling. The ceilings
not
are maybe
even, what, 8
6 and a half, 7 foot tall. And when you get up on a stage that's 9 inches thick, tall, that adds another, so I'll have to put my totems on the floor. But
Well, instead of totems on the floor, but why don't you put the lights, instead of going up, face them outward?
that's what I'll do. I'll put them on top of the totems, the moving heads, and I'll just use the wash moving heads, and then I'll just put up lighting around the room. I mean, that's probably all I'm going to do. I'm not going to go too gung ho on it. They did say they needed a whole lot. It's just a simple, they said we're just wanting to do something simple. Of course, in my head, if you're not wanting to spend a whole lot of money, the courthouse is open Monday through Friday. Save your money, go to the courthouse, invite your family there, do the courthouse, go out to a friend's house in the barn, play ping pong, drink a couple cold ones, do whatever, and spend the money
Fire
on,
pit and barbecue.
yeah, and spend the money on your honeymoon or your house or your kids or Christmas or, blah, 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 this. But I get it. They probably want something to remember. I mean, I am getting married a year and 10 days from today. So,
I know we're all going, right?
well, I'm actually going to need to know soon, because I got to get you guys on the guest list, or there's going to be a big man standing at the door going, if your name's on the list, sir, you ain't getting in. You're going to, and that person's going to have TBM Productions on the front of their shirt. So, I mean, if Buddy says you ain't coming in the door, you ain't coming in the door.
I'll be the fat guy sitting outside on a chair, just sitting there like, oh yeah, go ahead in. Hold on. I'll be on my tablet.
Do you
like
know my
watching
friend,
YouTube,
Mr.
watching
Grant
gig
Jackson?
blogs.
He'll be going, all right, DJ Chris, I don't see you here, buddy. And then he'll be like, you can't come in. And then you'll go, what do you call it?
Chris, go
like,
around
you
the
can't
side
come in,
door. I'll
Chris.
let you in. $10.
I'll come outside. Our buddy will call me and be like, hey, DJ Chris is here. Is he good? And I'll be like, who? Who's DJ Chris? Like,
Disc, Mr. Disc.
oh, Chris. Yeah, he's good. He can help you watch the door. I got it. Yeah. Bring him a beer or something,
He's bringing
But,
the Jack Daniels.
But yeah. I don't know. And then the other thing to recommend a light, there's a lot of that U-King stuff. Those little IR4s I got from U-King, they're nice. You get a set of 8 of them for like $700, $750, something like that. You can get a case for them to put them in, a charge case from Rockville for like $150. So less than $1,000, you've got up like little IR4, excuse me, up lights. And then those little, U-King moving heads, those 50 watt, 70 watt, 100 watts. If you're just starting out, those are pretty good moving heads to have. You don't necessarily have to have the big lights to have a big show. Just like Shed's logo was, make any stage the big stage. I mean, you could take 10 of those little 60, 70 watt U-King little moving heads and put them up on a trussing, and you've got a show. You can do your uplighting and moving heads and, maybe some tubes or something cheap. I mean, you don't have to have everything that us bigger guys that's been doing this a while have. We didn't start where we are now. We started on the bottom of the ladder and climbed up.
And we learned.
Yeah, and we learned what was good and what's bad, and all that stuff. So I mean, it's not to the point where
I still have my Chauvet 2 light cannons, and I still have my Decker, light from ADJ. So yeah, I still have them.
The Wash FX hexes are nice. The Wash FX 2s are nice. I would like to try both lighting, Spider Light, but unfortunately they only wanted to offer me 10% off. They wouldn't even give me a free one. I was like, I will buy one if you give me one, and they wouldn't even do that. So if anybody has any hookups for those lights or has one to find out if they're brighter than the Wash FX hex, let me know, because I'm thinking
everything I see, it looks like they might be. It's interesting lighting. And got a couple questions here from people in the chat. Mike, I don't know. I saw earlier you couldn't hear anything. If you run into problems, refresh and see what happens. I know you said also that we froze up.
Buddy, my phone is at 4%, and I've got to stop at this one last place. So,
no, go ahead. You gotta go.
I'm going to jump off, but I still want to jump back in for our little after show chat. So
the after show.
Yeah,
charge her up. Get in the car and charge her up.
Yep.
As soon as I get back
get a charge up,
and I'll hit you back up.
You gotta get one of these cables here.
So my mom's car charger quit, and she's been doing a lot of stuff. So she's got my car charger. I've got one, but she's got it.
Get this charging cable from M-Fish.
$10.
$10. I got one. It's like it was
this
like
is like
Amazon
I think like
$18,
$19. Awesome cable.
Yeah, but all right, I'll see you in a little bit.
Thanks so much, Nathan. Let's see here. Didn't ask. I'm sorry, Mike. He wanted to know if I was going to DJ Fire's wedding. I don't think Nathan's going to have me DJ it. I think he's going to have. I think DJ Rob Bass is going to do that for his wedding. But we're good now. Okay. And again, Kevin, thank you for tuning in tonight. Thank you guys all for tuning in tonight. Adrian, I'm glad you're here as well as Mike, and see who else. Big DJ Service, all you guys tuning in tonight. I appreciate it, and I appreciate the watching of the show as always. And also, I want to thank you all for tuning in. And don't forget, Sean has his deal. 3 days. 3 days. So 3 days. He's got that deal, $13.95. You have the audio visual theta. Look at this way. For less than $4,000, you can get the audio visual theta and a photo booth and really step up your game. Sounds like a lot of money. But you take that $4,000 and you go over 20 weddings, that's $500. Or you go over 40 weddings, let's say 2 years it takes you. Wow, that even drops it down even more. And it steps up your game. And the photo booth makes you money. Plus, you could probably charge more for your ceremony because you stepped up your game. You could, instead of charging a small fee, you could charge a better fee because, look, I'm much more professional. So, again, do that. Don't forget the other shows. Queue it up on Thursday nights. Also, Thursday nights, Start to Spin. Also, you go still out there. I'm still waiting for a new episode from a certain DJ. DJ Biz School. I have not said anything.
I'm so busy.
I know.
So busy.
Yeah, but maybe you and I could do a show or something like that. We can do it.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
We're probably
I
gonna
get you
have
knock out some
some
shows.
unboxing videos and stuff for the new photo booth here next week.
There
So
you go.
maybe those will go up on the Biz School.
Oh, Mike said he's 67. He's 4 or 5 years left. There you go, Mike. Look, you get a photo booth and audiovisual paid
6,
up.
7.
You get those two paid off in 5 years. You figure over 5 years, those two things, it makes you money. It will make you money, especially in northeastern Pennsylvania where you're at. We're in competition with some DJs that charge, big dollars. Now you can step it up and equal that those DJs. I know Chris is over there killing it in New York. I know Dwayne is killing it in Ohio. Sean is knocking it out of the park in Georgia. Joe is really rocking it out in California. And I'm here in beautiful Chicagoland trying to make it. I am surrounded by great DJs here. And again, some DJs not here tonight because of things going on. And he's on his way to 61, 4 or 5 years left. There you go. So he's 61. He's got 4 or 5 years. Then he's saying, that's it. I am done. But you never know. Joe is 70. And look at him. He looks 30.
Would have never guessed, Joe.
It's all the love. It's all the Spanish love. That's what it is. It's Spanish cooking, the delicious food. That's what it is. All right, guys.
Too much fun with these emojis. Let's get out of here.
Yeah, let's get out of here. I'm actually going to have Chris. You take us out tonight.
Well, thank you everyone for watching the DJ Roundtable here with us. Come check us out next week. We'll see you guys all real soon. Adios.
Sean with eggplants. Gotta love it. Yeah, thanks, Sean.